right, guys, check this out. This is my morning daily routine. I meet patients from all walks of life, and today I had to put a live on this because this is very cool. So, come on in. May I?
Finally getting to meet you in my best attire. Hello. So I actually have something for you, Dr. Ortiz. We're from New Orleans.
All right.
Tomorrow is Mardi Gras, and I wanted to tell you Happy Mardi Gras.
Do I have to flash you?
I was gonna give these out.
I don't know the routine. So
It's a personal choice, personal preference.
that is so cool.
But Happy Mardi Gras.
You got a lot. Are you
got
gonna?
lots of them.
So-
Pass them out to everybody.
So is this for the operating room?
For everyone, yeah.
All right, this is cool.
Would you like a pair?
We figured we'd bring y'all some Mardi Gras.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, tell me how'd you find this? How did?
So actually, I have been looking to do this surgery for 7 years, and it wasn't something that I thought was attainable because in the States I wasn't able to afford it. And his sister had actually gone to Mexico, and she told me about it. And at first I was like, oh my God, Mexico.
Mexico, yeah.
And then I started reading and I started researching, and I looked at a few other places, and you were the best one that I found that I knew I would be in the best care. There were so many people on the support group who have talked about how wonderful their experience was and how safe they felt and how clean and comfortable and everything was, that I was just like, this is the right thing for me. This is what I want to do. And I didn't take long to convince them, and then here we are.
So how was it the first time? Your mama, we're going to Mexico for surgery, and she said, "What? Have you lost it?"
Yeah. I know Dara researches a lot, so she said, "Here, Mom, read this, read this, read this."
I'm not crazy.
And I am a nurse who works in recovery.
Oh, interesting.
So I sat and I read and I read. I went through a lot of the comments that people have said, and I Google mapped the place. I look at everything, and I checked out and said, "Okay,
So?
this is
Up to standards, mama?
oh yes. So far, everything has been good."
Up to nurse mom standards. So.
Yeah.
All right, U.S. nurse in Mexico. And so what were the obstacles up in the States?
Honestly, cost. Insurance wouldn't cover it for me, and I just didn't think that $14,000 or up was feasible for me. And when I found that I could do something at a more affordable price here, and I was like, that's attainable. I can do that. This is something I wanted for a really long time. And of course, I research everything. I'm a speech therapist. I do extensive research before I commit to anything. And so I read and I read and I read and I read comments and I read official things and I read unofficial things and I read everything that I could. And I was like, I want to do this. I'm comfortable with this. Now I just got to tell them I'm not crazy and get them on board. And they were on board pretty quickly. So here we are.
So this is a life changer.
Yeah.
And
It will be, yes.
Interestingly enough, even if you're not overweight, but you have any type of metabolic disease like high blood sugar, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, sleep apnea, snoring, all these things, even if you're not overweight, weight loss surgery is actually warranted because it's going to prolong your life. So if you add to that, you might lose a little weight and you might mamacita, the whole thing. Why not? So surgery is around a 20-minute procedure, 30-minute recovery, a couple of hours to get you walking around. We do a lot of things very uniquely because we've been doing this for almost a quarter century, which is we go through the abdominal layer, but we don't cut a single fiber of muscle. So you're going to be back in the gym in no time at all because we spread the muscle tissue, and our pencil-thin instruments, when we remove them, everything collapses back into place. So the inner lining of the abdomen heals at around 6 hours. The inner lining of the stomach heals at around 6 hours. So exactly. So interesting, huh? And we also block the cascade of mediators that cause discomfort, pain, and inflammation.
So you do blocks.
Oh yes,
Good.
baby.
Okay.
So
Well, that's what
so
I
your
like.
body doesn't remember that there was a small incision there. So as long as you don't expose them to the sun, these really small incisions are going to disappear. So bikini time in no time at all. And the effect is, even though the weight loss happens during the next several months, the metabolic effect, in other words, the correction of the blood sugar, blood pressure, triglycerides, cholesterol, and everything else happens in weeks. Wow. So the benefit is there. And of course, 6 months down the road, it's like, ooh, mamacita, right?
That's what we're hoping for.
All right, so we're going to do a 360 live next, folks. You know what a 360 is. Just scroll around. You're going to be in the operating virtually with us. And please don't forget to ask questions. So I'm going to say that's the first thing we're going to introduce the 360 Live with. Ask your questions so they can read them to me and we can answer as we do the surgery. All right? Peace.